It's Thursday, and I've got some picks for you. If this is your first time here, my name's CJ Curry, and on this channel, we talk about player props, and we're talking about PrizePicks player props in particular. And in today's video, we're focusing on today's 3-game NBA slate. I know it's a small slate, but hey, there's props out there, and of course, somebody's got to win, so why not us, right, folks? So I'm going to talk about those in today's video. Got a few different options for us to consider. So if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, slap the like button. Let's set today's like goal at 149.5. I'm going to say 150 or more likes is possible with your contributions and your help. Yesterday, we did clear the 199.5 like goal, so I appreciate everybody out there that continues to like, comment, and share these videos with their friends, families, and loved ones. All right, without further ado, we are talking some PrizePicks. Of course, PrizePicks is daily fantasy sports made simple. What they basically do is give you different players from different sports, and then you have to decide whether or not you're going to take the more or the less on their individual player projections. Now, you could go anywhere from a 2-pick to win 3 times your money, all the way up to a 6-pick to try to win 25 times your money. But what they're doing right now is a special promotion. When you play $5, win or lose when you play that $5, they're going to give you $50 back. So to take advantage of this deal, you go down to the description of today's video, you click the special PrizePicks link that I've left for you down there, and use promo code CJ Curry to take advantage of their promotional offer. All right. So we got the PrizePicks board already pulled up here. We got 3 games, 3-game NBA slate, and we got some pretty big, impactful pending NBA news. Zach LaVine, we're not sure if he's going to be playing tonight or not as he takes on his former team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just to point out here, Minnesota is a 9-point favorite, so this one does have some blowout risk, some blowout potential. I do believe Chicago played last night. I think they're on a back-to-back, so that's another thing to kind of keep in mind. Then you got Utah versus Milwaukee. It looks like Jordan Clarkson and Lauri Markkanen are going to be playing for the Utah Jazz, but Giannis Antetokounmpo is a game-time decision. In fact, they may not even need him to beat the Utah Jazz, but we'll have to just wait and see. Milwaukee really needs him to be in there. Both of these teams are 1-6. And last but not least, we got Portland versus San Antonio. Shaedon Sharpe might make his season debut tonight for Portland, so we're kind of waiting on some injury news there. If he gets into the rotation, it'll be a step backwards for guys like Kamara and possibly even Avdia. Denny Avdia. There you go. I think I got it that time. As far as San Antonio's injury news, Devin Vassell still not ready to make his debut yet for the San Antonio Spurs. So him and Jeremy Sohan are out, as is Trey Jones. So there's your kind of rundown on today's brief little 3-game NBA slate. So what are we looking at on PrizePicks now that we kind of got the lay of the land here? Well, the first one is this guy, Julian Champagny. I don't know how you say his name. 16.5 points plus rebounds looks a little bit too high when you take a look at some of these projection models. Now, I got a new projection model, new trick up my sleeve. I kind of stumbled across this new projection model by a company called Shot Quality. So let's take a look at Shot Quality real quick. This is how Shot Quality works. They use court homography. Pause. Player and team detector, which is pretty cool. So they got machine learning and AI at work here. They got scoreboard detector. They got player tracking. They're looking at the defender distance. I mean, they're looking at everything. Shot detector. All right, they got everything baked into their projection model. So I'm really excited to take these for a spin today and see what kind of results we're going to get here. But yeah, here's what you get here when you sign up with Shot Quality, shotquality.com. You can win more with their advanced data. They got player location data, XY coordinates of all 10 players on the court for every NCAA, men's, NBA, and WNBA game from the past 2 seasons. That's pretty cool. Historical shot data, play-by-play data that contains shot quality data and metrics, including shot type data, expected probabilities, shot distance, defender distance, and much more. I love that. Shot quality scores, post-game shot quality scores generated from our proprietary location data and shot algorithm. That sounds really cool. Coverage from more than 137,000 games since 2011. And they got live shot quality scores, point-in-time shot quality scores available throughout a live game. So we're going to try these out today. I got access through my friends over at Roto Grinders. So you can get the Roto Grinders / shot quality projections over on rotogrinders.com. But let's look at Julian's projection here. He's at 16.5 points plus rebounds. So going over to the shot quality projections here, we'll just punch in Julian Champagne. I don't even know how to say this guy's name. And they give you all the different categories here, right? Points, 2-point attempts, 3-point attempts, free throw makes, rebounds, assists, everything that you could possibly want to know about a player projection for a given matchup is right here. So we're looking at the PR, points plus rebounds, and they've got him projected for 13 points plus rebounds, which puts him well under the 16.5 marker. Now, those of you who have joined me in previous videos, you know that I like me some Fantasy Labs as well. So let's take a look at the Fantasy Labs projections here for Julian. He is at 16.5 points plus rebounds, and this one has a 67.18% chance that he stays under 16.5 points plus rebounds tonight. So two very nice projections from two very trusted and reputable NBA player projection tools. And so for me, he is going to be an under option on a small NBA slate. Now, flipping things over to the other side of this game here, we're looking at Toumani Camara, and he's sitting out there at 14.5 points plus rebounds, and that looks a little bit too high as well. This one projecting very nicely on a couple of these different player projection models. So we're going to go back over here to the shot quality models. And they've got him projected for a 12.67 points plus rebound projection, putting him under by almost 2 PR. So we're going to ride with that projection and also look at the Fantasy Labs projection as well, where they've got him projected for less on the 14.5 PR, about a 65% win percentage. This is a simulation tool. They simulate these games out, these player projections and stuff out. So that gives us about a 7.27% edge based on the line that he currently sits at over on PrizePicks. So you got two different options there from that Portland-San Antonio game. But we're not going to stop there. We got another one that I wanted to take a look at, and we're talking about Victor Wembanyama. Now, his block shots look pretty enticing to me. They're sitting out there at 3.5, which sounds like a lot. And I mean, it kind of is a lot when you compare it to your average NBA player. But for this guy, it's definitely something that he can do. 3.5 or more shot blocks. We're looking for 4, obviously, to hit the over. And this number looking good as well. When we go over to shot quality and take a look at the projections for Victor Wembanyama, we go over to the blocks category. Shot quality and their projections have him all the way up at 5.75 shot blocks. Block shots. However you say it, however you spray it. No, I ain't going to freestyle. Let me stop. 5.75, though, is a very nice projection when his line is just 3.5 over on PrizePicks. So we like what we're seeing on that one. Let's go back over here to Fantasy Labs. Of all the ways that you could play Victor Wembanyama, they say that the over on the 3.5 blocks is the best way to go, giving you about a 64.5% win percentage here, a 6.85% edge. And so Victor Wembanyama to record 4 blocks looks like a good way to go, especially when you take a look at the center position here, these DVP charts, and you go down and you take a look at how many block shots that Portland's given up to opposing centers, nearly 3 per game. And then you factor in that this guy is arguably the best shot blocker in the NBA at such a young age. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good here. We'll take a chance on Victor Wembanyama to block at least 4 tonight. Zach Collins of the formerly of the Portland Trail Blazers, now with the San Antonio Spurs, the backup center for the Spurs. He's in a revenge game tonight against Portland. Zach Collins for more than 10.5 points plus rebounds looks like another good way to go here if you're talking about San Antonio Spurs props. A lot of love for some Zach Collins. A lot of different ways you could play him. Some people are projecting for his points to go over. Some are liking the points plus rebounds to go over. Some are liking the points plus assists to go over at 8.5. But I'm going to go points plus rebounds here in what is, like I said, a revenge game narrative. So taking a look at the projections over on shot quality first and foremost. When we punch in Zach Collins' name, you can see that he is projected for about 12.46 points plus rebounds, which puts him over 10.5 by nearly 2 PR. So hopefully that comes to fruition and he plays well tonight against his former team in the Portland Trail Blazers. And then we go over here to Fantasy Labs and check out their simulation tools here. Zach Collins projected for a healthy over on the 10.5 points plus rebounds, about a 56.2% win percentage when you factor that in. Like I said, there's a number of different ways that you could play Collins for the over. You could take the points over 6.5. You could take the over on the points plus assists at 8.5. But I'm going to stick with the points plus rebounds over at 10.5. Another guy that's looking good here, we're switching gears. We're going over to the Minnesota side of things, looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves and Mike Conley Jr. Mike Conley Jr. going up against the Chicago Bulls. His fantasy score at 22 looks really low, way too low, in fact, because the Chicago Bulls do give up quite a few fantasy points per game to opposing point guards. If you take a look here, point guard position, Chicago Bulls, the #1 team comes to fantasy points allowed to the point guard position. So definitely an advantageous spot here for Mike Conley Jr., especially if he could get his hands on some of these basketballs. They're giving up nearly 3 steals per game to opposing point guards, over a block per game, and they're giving up a whole boatload of assists per game, over 11 assists per game allowed by this Chicago Bulls team. I am a little bit worried about the blowout, but hopefully Conley Jr. gets it done here quick and easy before the game turns into a runaway. And if Zach LaVine ends up playing, I think the game stays a whole lot more competitive. But going over to the shot quality projection here for Mr. Conley, taking a look at his projection on fantasy points, 26.13 projected fantasy score. That's more than 4 fantasy points higher than where he's at on PrizePicks at just 22. So that's an option for you to consider. Let's get you a second projection. We're going to go over here to Fantasy Labs and Michael Conley Jr. On his 22 fantasy score, you got about a 59.83%. Let's call it about a 60% win percentage score here. So the fantasy score is looking rather nice for Mike Conley Jr. And when we go and take a look at the projection models on Fantasy Labs, you can see he's projected for about 25.58 fantasy points. Again, more than a 3.5 fantasy score difference or edge versus PrizePicks. Which brings us to our last pick of the video. I know, time flies when you're having fun. But we're going to go take a look at Dante DiVincenzo of the Minnesota Timberwolves as well. Now, this one is a newer category that PrizePicks has introduced for this season. We're looking at his 3-point attempts. So Dante DiVincenzo, a guy who is notorious for shooting a lot of threes. He's at 6 3-point attempts over on PrizePicks. So I'm liking the over or more option for this, for him to have at least 6 3-point attempts or greater. Now, taking a look at his projection here, this one is RotoWire. RotoWire's got him projected for 7.41 3-point attempts. When we take a look at how he's done on this number for the season, you can see he's had 6 or more 3-point attempts in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7 games in which he's appeared. Now, if this game does turn into a blowout, a runaway style game, then Dante DiVincenzo may see even more minutes off of the bench than what he typically gets. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens whatsoever, as Minnesota is clearly the better team than the Chicago Bulls, and they should win this game pretty easily. But let's get you some other projections here. We'll go over to shot quality and take a look at Dante DiVincenzo there. DiVincenzo's 3-point attempt projection is set at right at 7, 6.99 if you want to be splitting hairs. I guess you could split some hairs. 6.99. We'll call it 7, though, for the 3-point attempt. So that puts him over by 1 whole 3-point attempt. Let me get you one last projection. This one is coming to you on NumberFire. NumberFire.com, free to use NBA player prop projections. Going down here and taking a look at the projection, they've got him projected for all the way up at 8.7 3-point attempts. So a big projection on NumberFire. All 3 different projection models, all 3 systems have him going for at least 6 or more 3-point attempts against this Chicago Bulls team. So there you go. You guys said you wanted me to pick the plays for you. These are all backed by solid projections. These are all backed by trusted NBA projection models. So what do you guys think? Go down in the comment section. Let me know. Are you taking any of these plays? Are you fading any of these plays? Are you reversing them? Are you ballsy enough to go against these projection models? Let me know down in the comment section below. Good luck on all your picks, plays, and parlays. We'll catch you in another video real soon. Peace.